Hi guys, and welcome back to International IADR Registry's Member Spotlight. This is for the month of January 2021. Today we have a member joining us from Australia. She has been a member with us for 4.5 years. Everybody say hi to Miss Louise Crone.
Hi everyone. This is my room in Australia. You can see behind me. I'll just move the camera around a bit. This is my room.
Wow, Australia. That's exciting. So, how did you end up there? Were you born and raised there, or were you born somewhere else and then moved there as a young child?
Okay, Australia. Well, I was born here, so it's a beautiful place to live. Lots of friends, family, beautiful country.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I don't think there's been a single photograph that I've seen of Australia that hasn't been just absolutely beautiful. And that is also on my bucket list. So, we would like to know what your growing up story is.
Growing up, well, I was adopted into this family when I was very young. Ended up being the youngest of 4 children. We lived in a beautiful big house in Epping, one of the Sydney suburbs in New South Wales, Australia. Beautiful pool. We always had kids over and, play cricket out the back. It was a really great childhood.
So, has art always been in your life, or is that something that you discovered later on?
So art, one of my favourite subjects. Started drawing when I was about 13 years old. Mainly faces, eyes, of course, love detail of the eyes. Took art at school, was my best subject, always got A's. Nothing, didn't get A's in anything else but art. But I started drawing after my grandmother passed away. It was a very hard time for a lot of us. I was very close to her, as a lot of us were, because she was such a lovely, lovely lady. And I picked up a pencil and started drawing, and I still have my first drawing to this day. And I always remember that from when she passed away, because that's when everything started for me.
So I was thinking about this. I'm curious, what kind of journey led you to making cloth dolls specifically? Like, did you start off doing a different kind of art and then slowly moved onto cloth, or has it always been cloth dolls?
Okay, well, cloth dolls. Well, I've done so many things throughout the years. I've only been doing cloth dolls for probably about 8 years now. Sort of wanted to do it for quite a long time. Didn't know how to start. Wanted to do, it really came down to wanting to do something that included my art and my drawings, because I loved it so much. And so my husband was the one who really said, just go for it, just try it, and it was a slow process at the start. Compared to my dolls now, my first doll was, a lot different, but it took time for me, because I'm a self-taught person, and I just have to work things out myself. So it took quite a while, but I started about 8 years ago now.
Now, Miss Lou, what is your favorite part of the day?
Favorite part of the day is the mornings. I quite love the mornings early, when everyone's still in bed, and I can just sit here in my room and work out what I'm going to do, especially if I don't have to work my normal day job. Early in the mornings I quite like. It's quite nice, and especially if the weather's really been hot, and the weather's quite cool now.
Yep, I'm the same. All right, I want to get into where and how you met your husband.
So, my husband Patrick, well, that's a long story too, but Patrick and I met when I was about 18 and he was 21. I was actually going out with his best friend at the time. So we were really good friends, and that's how I met him. Years sort of went past. I broke up with my other half then, and we went our separate ways. And I didn't see Patrick for about 27 years. So we happened to meet, of all places, through Facebook. We found each other and went out for coffee, and now we've been married for 5 years and we've been together for 10. So, yeah.
Such a beautiful story. Oh, made me smile. Tell us about your family.
My family, well, big family. As I said before, I'm adopted into this family. I also know my birth family as well, which I've been grateful to meet. And it was only a chance through my husband. He's Irish, and we went back to Ireland, and not only did I get to see some really good friends, hi Jeanette, Vicky, that I'd known when I was very young, because we used to work together, and but I got to meet my family in Ireland too, which was just the most amazing thing for me, that I didn't think I'd ever get to do. So that was really great too. My adopted family they're just amazing, and they're lovely people. I've got some really great aunties that I've been very close to throughout my life. My mum, she passed probably 14 years ago now. My mum passed, so very sad that I haven't been able to share my art that I'm doing now with her, because that's one thing I would have loved her to see. But yeah, my aunties are really great, cousins, and through Facebook I've met and been able to keep in touch with a lot more of my family, which has been really, really good, especially with what's happening in the world these days. You can't really see a lot of people, but you can still keep in touch, so that's been really, really great.
I'm glad to hear that. For those of us who don't know anything about making cloth dolls, kind of walk us through the process of creating one. You know, for those of us who actually want to give it a try, what do we need to know before we start?
Okay, so making cloth dolls, well, I started with making my own patterns because I'm not really good at following people's patterns. I never have been. I don't understand a lot of things. So I decided that I'd just make my own patterns that I could follow myself. I've got lots and lots of patterns because dolls change over the years, or I want to do something different, so of course a different pattern for a doll. So I start off with the pattern, making the pattern, work out what I want to do. Of course, a lot of things just in my head, which gives me a headache sometimes because I think too much. But so I start off with the pattern, cut the cloth out and sew it up. Stuffing, not so much my favourite thing, but you know, so I stuff the dolls and everything like that. But before I stuff them, I do paint the face. When it's flat, I find it better for me. As you know, through my drawings from when I was young and everything, and I love eyes. I just, the eyes are the thing for me. And so, yeah, so I paint it first before I stuff the face, but I do all the rest, stuff the doll, and then I start creating the costume. The more detail, the better. I love detail. I'm such a detail person that I just love all the little intricate details. Unfortunately, you know, a photo of the doll doesn't show everything up, but once people get the doll, it's been really good because they can see all the tiny little details once they get it. So it's just a process of, you know, the pattern cutting out the cloth, painting the face, stuffing the doll, and then the costume. So, and I have to be happy with that. If I'm not happy with a doll, I will take it apart, because I've got to love it myself, even though I don't keep them.
Okay. What is your favorite part of the cloth doll process, and why is that?
Okay, favourite part of the cloth dolls. There's a few. Painting the face is one. I love painting the face and seeing it come to life. That's just such a fun thing for me to do. The other thing is the costume. I love creating costumes, and in the end, all of it is just a process, mainly of watching it come from nothing to what it is. It's so much fun to do, and I do love creating.
Now, out of all of the dolls that you've made so far, which one is your absolute favorite?
So, my favorite cloth doll, that's really hard, because I'll have a favorite and then I'll make something else and I'll like that better. So there's a few different ones. I'm saying to date, behind me you can see Frankenfurter. He was really fun to do. I really enjoyed doing him. He is one of my favorites. But I also did a vampire, and I did a coffin for her, and I think she's one of my favorites too. So unfortunately, I don't have just one favorite. I have a few.
Yeah. So go a little more in depth about your actual growing up story, like childhood stories, adventures you had, things like that.
So, growing up in my, I suppose, teenage years, went to discos. I'm a bit older now. I suppose I don't have discos anymore, but loved to dance, loved to sing, loved my music. Used to play the piano. Then I had my son, who I just love. He's just such a great kid. And now I'm a grandmother. So he's had a son, and he's just an absolute joy. He's only just turned 2. My husband, big part of my growing up, as I said, because I've known him when I was 18, and now he's just such a wonderful man, and I'm really grateful to have him. Family, and lots of friends, nice, lovely friends. I've known people since my high school, and I'm still in touch with them. And even primary, I've got some really great friends from primary that I still talk to on Facebook. And it's just lovely to have all those friends, and they're really wonderful.
Now, what other talents or hobbies do you have that bring you joy other than cloth dolls?
Okay, other talents and hobbies. Well, as I said, my drawing. I played the piano for probably 7 years. Love music. I love to sing. I love to dance. I'm the sort of person that goes by ear. So I'd be able to hear something played on the piano, and I'll just get on there and play it, much to a lot of people didn't like that. But, even my music teacher wasn't impressed. But, that's the way I did things. And and that's what I do. I play by ear, and I can look at something and go, oh, I really like that, and just go do it. I just seem to be that sort of person, with music, with art. I just love that sort of, I don't know, hobbies.
And is there anything else in your life that you love or have a passion for as much as your cloth dolls?
Oh, okay. So anything else in life that you love as much as doll making? Well, I love doll making, and I really do, and I put my heart and soul into all my dolls. But I've started doing, with my dolls, I started doing, they call mixed media. Um, but the coffin I did for my vampire, thoroughly enjoyed doing that. That was just so much fun. So I love building things too. I love constructing things for the dolls now, which has been really great. I did Wednesday Addams last year, and I did her on her chair, and I had so much fun. Just the chair without her even on it. I just loved the chair. But it was just so much fun. So I'm sort of a bit into the mixed media now, and progressing with that. I just bought myself some paper clay, and it's just mainly to give even more detail into my dolls if I can.
So, Lou, talk to us about your most memorable artistic accomplishment.
Okay, artistic accomplishment. When I was in high school, and art was, as I said, my favourite subject, they had art exhibitions that used to go all around the world, and I think it was to do with the schools. And so they'd pick a few people from each school and take their work, and my work went, which was just amazing. I did this, I never forgot it. I mean, I never saw the drawing again, but it was a drawing of one of the boys. They were sitting up on a chair on the table, and I did all the detail of all his shirt and everything, and all the creases, and just drawing it, and I just had so much fun. And so my drawings went, and that was really, really special to me that something like that happened. And I did a big painting, and my painting hung outside in the hall outside the principal's office, so that was pretty cool too.
This is a fun one. I love asking this one. What is something about you that we may not already know?
Oh, okay. Something that you probably don't know, even though a lot of my characters are horror or gothic, which I just love doing it. I hate horror movies. I don't watch them at all. There's no way in the world you'll get me to watch a horror movie. Too scary for me, sorry. But I love the characters, and I remember I made, for a lady, I made Billy, the puppet from Saw, and he sat on a chair in my office for a few days before I actually posted him out. And I'd go past and go, oh, wow, he's so cool. I really, really love him. And, and someone else would go past and who's seen Saw and gone, that's really creepy, Mum, or, Louise. So that was really funny. I don't like the horror movies whatsoever. Don't like watching blood and guts. I'm not that sort of person. But but I love the characters. I think they're amazing, and people that can create such detail and such realism for these movies. Love it. Absolutely love it. But yeah, never watch a horror movie ever.
So, being a part of the International Art Doll Registry for 4.5 years, tell us how IADR has helped you in your artistic journey and what you like best about our online community.
Hey, International Art Doll Registry. Well, I've been in it for a few years now. Came across it. I'm not sure how I even came across it, but I did, and I love it. I absolutely love being a member. Deb, you've been amazing from the get-go. When I first started, such encouragement. It really helped me push my limits. Even better to have someone like you think my art was great or my dolls were great was just a really big thing for me. And Fredo, well, God, what can I say? You're an amazing person, and if ever we want any help, you're right there all the time. Doesn't matter when it is, you will help us. it's a nice place. I love the competitions. Actually won a couple, which has been really great because, I'm a cloth doll artist. So that's really, really made my day and been really proud. But it's great, and I'm so happy to be a member and able to be a member and be in contact with a lot of people there. So it's been really good.
Lou, I want to thank you very much for spending this time with us. It was an absolute pleasure getting to know you. I loved listening to your accent. It's incredibly beautiful. I love Australian accent and the British accent.
Bye. It was really, really nice talking to you, and thank you for listening to me, I suppose, and my interview. And I'm not sure what it is like in the world for you all at the moment. Here in Sydney, we've had a few lockdowns. This virus and everything hasn't been very good for everyone, but I hope you keep safe wherever you are. Thank you.
And we also want to thank you guys, our viewers, our friends, and our other IADR members for taking the time to get to know our member, Lou Crone. Stay tuned because we have another member lined up for the month of February. Thanks for watching, everybody.